Hello, I'm Robert, a voluntary fact checker and helping if you're scared of many things. And this is to fact check the many false claims that there are about Discord's age verification, which is already doing in the United Kingdom and in Australia. And all these awful things that people say will happen aren't happening here. And so I'm going to go through and fact check these things. And this particular one is about Discord's persona age verification experiment. It's a bit of a detail because they only did it for a few days and it's over, at least for now. But I do need to cover it. First of all, I'll talk about summarize the previous videos and blog posts. So I'll give you the context. So first of all, from the first video, Discord is doing this to protect kids. And the reason it's necessary is because kids are online far more than they were just a few years ago, and all sorts of serious harms have been happening to a very small minority of kids. And the governments had to respond to parents saying in the UK, and there was an awful lot of pressure on the government that you have to do something about this. And so that's why they did it. It's a matter of historical fact that that's why they did it. And then Discord is doing it for exactly the same reason, to protect kids. And they need age verification for much the same reason that a kid can't buy alcohol in the United Kingdom without showing a photo ID to prove that they're old enough. So I covered that. It's done by UK, Australia and other countries with very strong privacy protection. And because of that, any age verification has to be very secure and privacy protecting. So that was required of Discord, and that's also what Discord wanted from their side too. As unintrusive as possible and protect your privacy. So I went into that in the first video. I then looked at how Discord does it. And Discord is which is compatible with its objective to be least intrusive as possible and most privacy and completely privacy protecting, then first of all, Discord is not going to require anything of almost everyone that has a Discord account. They can now work out whether you are adult or not for most people just by your activity on Discord, just by the way you've used Discord. And then for the ones that doesn't work for, most of it will be done by KID, which is a very secure system that Discord has been using since the beginning of its age verification. Your selfie remains on your device for the first step. So the first thing it'll do is that you're asked to let the software take your photograph. And this works out your age just from the pixels in a very different way from the way humans do, but it's even more accurate than human age verification. And that software runs in your browser, so nothing from that gets outside your device. And all that gets out is a pass or fail whether you're adult or not. So then if that doesn't work, then KID will then ask you to upload your photo ID. You've got to show your passport, driving license, or government ID. So you show that, upload an image or show that to the camera, however it is it does it, and then it does a selfie. And both of those need to be processed on the server. For some reason they can't do it on your device. So that goes up to the server. The server then only looks at the photo on your photo ID and the date of birth on your photo ID. It ignores all the rest of it. And if your selfie matches the photo, then it looks at the date of birth and it doesn't extract your date of birth. It just extracts whether you are adult or not. And that's all it records. And then it deletes everything. And so there's nothing there for a hacker to find, because KID generates an anonymous token for you And so all it's got is this anonymous token and pass or fail as to whether it's adult. KID sends, communicates with Discord, and it uses that anonymous ID, which Discord then can match to one of its usernames, and so then Discord has never seen your photo ID, wasn't uploaded to Discord, and all Discord has is pass or fail attached to your username. So you can see how very secure that is. That's a very, very short summary of my previous video. So now I'm going to talk about this persona experiment. So I've got a quick summary, but I'll do that at the end. So the persona experiment, you think, why is Discord do anything else? Why does it need anything else except KID? Well, for some reason, Discord did a short experiment for a few people in the United Kingdom using persona instead, which is a respected age verification company that's been around since 2018. And it's nothing to do with ICE or Peter Thiel. I'll briefly cover that at the end, but I've got a separate debunk about that. It is just an age verification company and a well-established one. And so the way persona lets its clients use its services in many different ways. So for some people, if they ask it, then it will look at the other details in the photo ID and will use that for fraud prevention by checking against government databases. But Discord doesn't want fraud. It doesn't need fraud prevention. That's not a problem for Discord. So Discord just wants persona to look at the photo and the date of birth, similarly as for KID. So Discord asks persona to blur everything else out before it looks at the photo, and asks persona to keep the photo IDs for 7 days. I'm not sure why they didn't ask you to delete it immediately. And so as you see, persona, it will do whatever the client asks it to do. So in this case, that's what Discord asked persona to do, so that's what persona is going to did. And so you would see this very, very low, there isn't any possibility still of anything happening to the other fields on your photo ID, because Discord got persona to blur them all out before it even looks at the photo ID. So again, if someone was to hack persona, all they would find is the pass or fail, just as for KID, and if they managed to hack them during that 7-day period, they would have a photo and a date of birth, but no name and no other details associated with it. So that, in short, is what the persona experiment was all about. And but why would KID do that at all? So let's go and look at this. This section. So Discord do not explain why they did this experiment. That's perfectly normal. They don't. Companies don't normally explain things like this, but it's a reasonable hypothesis that they did this because they are going to roll out age verification, which they have for 30. I've got the figures here: 27.9 million users for UK, well over 1 million users for Australia, and so that's just short of 28 million. That takes you to nearly 30 million. It could be over 30 million, depending how many there are in Australia. And then the total number of active users is 373.6 million. So they have age verification already for 30 million, roughly. They want to expand it to over 300 million, a 10-fold expansion. So Discord is going to have a big surge in age verifications. Now, if you go and look at KID, they have lots of companies that trust them for age verification, but Discord seems to be the largest of them. Possibly Quora might be similar in size, it's hard to know. So for KID, this is a huge surge in age verifications it might have to do. Now, remember that Discord is going to be able to verify most of them without even sending them to an age verification just based on their own data. And they've got much better at this since the UK rollout and Australia rollout. So there mightn't be so much of a surge as all that. But Discord, if I was a developer for Discord and I was looking at this situation, I would say, okay, we've been doing fine so far with KID. We're going to have a sudden tenfold surge. And what happens if we get a sudden surge and we find that in this particular country, which is the United States, there are 1 million people that our system doesn't manage to pre-vet as being old enough. So I would be starting thinking, can KID handle this surge? So that's just my guess. But I think that if, and then you look at its biggest age verification surge so far, suppose it's 10,000 verifications in a minute, and KID handled it. Then I'd say to KID, can you handle, say, 100,000 in a minute? What about 200,000? And if KID said, oh yes, sure, we can handle 1 million, then I'd be okay with that. But if KID said, I think we can, then I'd say, oh, we better have a plan B, just in case KID can't handle it. So I expect that's what I expect it is. It's a plan B. And that it looks, as someone who's done programming, since 1971, my first ever coding, and this is just the sort of thing. It sounds to me this is probably what they're doing. So if you look at it from Discord's point of view, it's a reliable age verifier, industry leader since 2018, never been hacked. It's got very flexible data handling rules. So that means that Discord can set it to the maximum privacy, which they did. They did have this extra 7-day period to retain the blurred out photo ID, but that could have been just for the purpose of the experiment. So we don't know if they, we don't know what the result of the experiment was, whether it succeeded or failed. If it succeeded, they may use Persona for surges of traffic in the early stages of the rollout. That's my guess. And if they do, they might keep up this 7-day thing, or maybe that was just for the experiment, and they might just ask it to immediately delete everything, just like they did for KID. So I can't see them switching to Persona because KID is such a good match for what Discord want to do, but they might be considering it for searching the. So I'll give you at the end of this. I'll talk about what recommendations from all this as to what to do when you do age verification a month from now, and depending on what Discord decide. So this is about what they said, that this is all gone from the page now, but because the experiment has ended. But they said that if you're in UK, you might be part of an experiment, processed by Persona, template stored for 7 days, all details blurred except your photo and date of birth, so only what's truly needed for age verification is used. And that is Discord's focus here. And so the main criticism that they don't seem to have ever been hacked. It's a reputable age verification company, Persona. The main criticism is that their privacy policy permits them to retain data for as long as the partner requires. But in this case, they're not retaining any data, except just the photo and the date of birth, and only for 7 days. And the only reason they do it is for fraud prevention. They don't give that data to anyone else. So, and then remember, Discord wants the data to be private and safe. It's very clear that they're trying to minimize the amount of data that is processed at all. They're trying to, from Discord's point of view, the perfect situation would be if they could decide for everyone without even need to do age verification at all, just in advance using their own data. And so you can see that Discord certainly doesn't want to risk your data to be at any risk whatsoever. It's not going to do them any good, is it? you stop and think about it. So Discord is on your side. It wants the age verification to be secure. And then I talk here, but I've already mentioned about why the 7 days. So it could have told the persona to delete. If you go and look at the persona privacy policy and the persona advice to people who want to use it, then it says set whatever privacy policy you like. And so it could have told persona to delete all the data instantly, and maybe it will if it does use it in the future. It's not for fraud prevention. You can't do fraud prevention with blurred out data. And as coming from my programming background, I rather expect that this is just for debunking glitches, to help Discord and debug if there are any glitches. And then you can say to persona, look, you didn't verify this. So-and-so has said they haven't verified, and you may be getting 10 out of 100 that aren't being verified, and we got far better figures for KID. Can you have a look and see what's gone wrong? That would be a likely reason for asking them to retain the data for 7 days. Anyway, so now go and look at my recommendations for all this. I'll talk about Peter Thiel very briefly at the end. We've got a separate debunk about this, and I'll do a separate video probably. So my recommendation is that, first of all, if you're age verified automatically or age verified by a selfie, this isn't relevant at all. If you upload the government ID, then before you do that, just go to the Discord age verification page and check down and see how they're doing it. And if they say KID, absolutely brilliant, no problem at all. If they say persona, and they say that persona is going to retain its data, and I think that's highly unlikely that that is their main choice. It's possible that they might briefly use it during searches, then just check and see does persona retain your data at all. And if they say persona is going to instantly remove it, or some other reputable age verification partner, then brilliant, nothing to worry about at all. But then, if it says that it's going to retain it for 7 days, then bear in mind, persona has never been hacked, as far as I could tell. Hackers could in principle get your photo and date of birth, but not your name, or your username. And since persona has never been hacked, your risk of being hacked is very low. So then it's about personal risk management. How are you about a very low risk of a leak or a photo linked to your date of birth, but not to your name or the details, and not linked to your Discord username? So in my case, my photo is all over the web anyway, because I'm a small business sole trader. And if you think about it, like anyone who is public-facing commerce, like almost any small business holder will have, like me, and mine, I was a sole trader, just selling my software. I have my photograph, and I have my name, I have my address, and all that is to build confidence with the people that are doing business with me. And if you go and look around, most small businesses do that. And they say where they live, they give their name, or they say where at least their business address is, if they have a separate business address. Sole traders often just give where they live. And then if you go and look at a judge, lawyer, advocate, doctor, psychiatrist, they'll all have their photo and their name and associated with work. Same with academic. If you ever had taken part in a sports team at school, then if you got a press story about you, you'd quite likely have photographed your entire team with all your names. And certainly professional sportsmen, they always have their names. And then quite often, you look at all the Olympic athletes, go to their page, they have the photo, name and date of birth. And they usually have the date of birth as well. Indeed, same for legislators, same for an awful lot of people that you read about in the newspapers. With many of them, you can find their date of birth too. Actor and actress, even if they have minor roles, they very likely have a Wikipedia page with their photo, name and date of birth. So it's not, you can't really do much by way of stealing someone's ID just based on a photo and their name and their date of birth. And so and then the risk here is just your date of birth and photo, but without your name. So I would evaluate this as being extraordinarily low risk, especially if you don't have any photos of yourself uploaded anywhere, which is the people are very averse to sharing their photos often in that situation. Then how is anyone going to link your photo to your name? So I think, and then if there's a link of your photo to your name online, unless it's the identical image to the one that you have for your photo ID, then it's very, very difficult to find a match. So just think that through. If you still, as a personal risk assessment, you don't want to take even this very minute risk, then simply check the age verification page and don't upload your photo ID unless you're sure it's processed only by KID or Persona or another age verification set to delete the info immediately. And if it does say if there's an age verifier there with conditions that you don't like, then just wait a few weeks and probably they'll stop using it. Because if they do use another age verifier, it's likely only for a short time to handle searches at the very beginning in March. I can't see them using anything except KID long term, as they've used all the way through. They haven't used anyone else up to the present apart from this short experiment. And so I expect that's how they'll continue. And so chances are, though, that you'll be assessed an adult without ever needing to upload a government ID. And then the worst case, you're treated as age 18, under 18 member, which makes little difference to most Discord users. So our next post would be about the ticket system, and that's the only one that's been breached. And that was if you manually took out a ticket. So then you are talking to a human being over the ticket system. And that situation, there's a different kind of risk assessment there. So I talk about that separately, about why it was breached and what they've done to stop it being breached again. And that was nothing to do with the automatic age verification. So I see it's got to 22 minutes. I'm not sure, but I've covered the main points anyway. And just say, I very much, if you've got any ideas about how I could compress all this into just 1 minute and make some dramatic video that people will share virally and will counteract all the false claims. But it's just the nature of debunking. It's really, if you're debunking, you have to be thorough. And how can you be thorough in 1 minute? And when there's all this bizarre, extraordinary false claims on the internet that people believe because they're shared widely and because they're so scary, then someone who wants to boost those claims, they can easily make a 1 minute video and just says this is true for all the things that are completely false, because people are prepared to believe them and they don't even need to say anything that give any facts to support anything they say. But as a debunker, debunking this scary nonsense, then I have to go into detail and explain why it's false. So I can't do a short 1 minute video like that, because I'm debunking this crazy, nonsensical stuff that gets people scared. It's nonsense, just utter garbage. I just haven't seen so much, just extraordinary amount of garbage I've had to read in order to do these debunks. But anyway, hopefully this helps you, and I hope you'll be less scared. And I will now go on to and upload. I'll do a short video about the Peter Thiel one and why. Oh yes, because I completely forgot about that. I'll do a separate video for the Peter Thiel one. This is already 24 minutes, so I'll do that as a separate video as to why this has got nothing to do with ICE and nothing to do with Palantir and nothing to do with Peter Thiel. And I'll explain that in another short video.